I'm Katrina vanden Heuvel. As a journalist and commentator, I've written and spoken often about the Supreme Court. Over the years, I've learned that the court's cases are not just about dry legal issues. They're really about the lives of everyday people and about the future of our country. Over the past century, the American people have fought and won important battles in the quest for a fairer and more just society. But something has changed. In case after case, a solid 5-vote conservative majority on the Supreme Court has begun to tip the balance toward corporate interests. This is the story of one of those cases. One case stands alone as the most notorious Supreme Court decision favoring corporate interests. In 2010, Citizens United versus the Federal Election Commission rewrote the rules of American politics, striking down decades of precedent and helping to unleash a torrent of corporate money into our elections. The decision and those that have followed have fatally undermined efforts at campaign finance reform, such as those led by Republican Senator John McCain and former Democratic Senator Russ Feingold.
So this is a heavy decision for the court to make, a step that certainly should not be taken.
The case was really about something entirely different than what they did with it. The case was about a movie that was made about Hillary Clinton for DirecTV. And the question was whether the McCain-Feingold bill would have said that that couldn't be shown just prior to an election. So it was a very narrow question about something that really wasn't about McCain-Feingold. I know, I helped write the bill. And so there was no intention to get at that sort of thing. For some reason, the court, we think led by Chief Justice Roberts, said, we're going to distort this and turn it into an opportunity to overturn essentially 100 years of good law, and for the first time, let corporations use their treasuries to run unlimited ads about candidates. And they claimed that corporations are people too, that when it says we the people in the Constitution, they meant corporations. But corporations then were very different than they are now. They were mostly limited, they were charters from the government.
Citizens United extended First Amendment protection to a corporation which is a non-human entity. And I think it is a legal fiction that benefits corporations to a degree that disempowers the actual human voices.
Last week, the Supreme Court reversed a century of law that I believe will open the floodgates for special interests, including foreign corporations, to spend without limit in our elections.
Justice John Paul Stevens, in his final year on the court, wrote the dissent.
Justice John Paul Stevens, who was 90 years old at the time, did something very unusual. He made the other justices listen to him for 20 minutes as he explained how awful this decision was.
The court's premise is particularly misguided when it is the identity of corporations that is at issue. Simply put, corporations are not human beings.
It really is a kick in the teeth to our democracy.
The Supreme Court has badly lost their way today.
Mr. Chairman, we are well on our way to seeing our great country move toward an oligarchic form of government.
There's too much money washing around, and there is too much corruption associated with that kind of money.
I've never seen the court in more negative perception in my lifetime. There's just a feeling that how can the Supreme Court have done this awful thing? And I believe the decision will ultimately be overturned because of that feeling.
In his written dissent, Justice Stevens said, "The court's ruling will, I fear, do damage to this institution."
At bottom, the court's opinion is just a rejection of the common sense of the American people. While American democracy is still imperfect, few outside the majority of this court would have thought its flaws included a shortage of corporate money in politics.
The 1% court has ruled, but it should not have the final word. With a renewed spirit of activism, balance can be restored to the American system of justice. Make the fight for fairness in the courts an issue wherever and whenever you can, in your local media, in town meetings, in community gatherings, through social media, and in political campaigns. And visit unequaljustice.org to find out how you can make a difference. With your help, unequal justice can become equal justice once again.